Danny, you're looking good, man. Good to see you.
Well, you too. I mean, my God, we've been praying for you. You're looking good, Phil.
Hey,
You
Danny,
had us scared there.
those prayers do a lot of good. I'll tell you,
You,
all my labs
hey,
they're all good, man. There you
I don't
go.
know if you can see that
I
shirt,
can.
prayer warrior.
Absolutely, man. It
He
makes a big
works.
difference.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm feeling good, except now I got the damn flu. So I'm getting all my
Well,
illnesses out of the year, out of the way early this year.
and typically here we're going to be at a show this weekend too, right? During this week
Exactly.
already, and you know, a lot of times you contacted there. You just hit so many people, but my mission. I'm going to go on Saturday, so maybe I'll meet you up on Saturday. I have my 2-year-old granddaughter. I have my 4-year-old, the veteran, that learned to catch the trout there, and she's the one I had to finally get the hook and yank her off the pond after she got her 5th trout. And I don't know where she got that. Had to make sure she got a limit first. But of course, and they were released, which is great because we
Oh,
don't eat trout, so that's another even a better deal. But the little one, the 2-year-old, is just going crazy. And I got to show you something. I got
sure
an
thing.
outfit here that
David Rosenthal is out there. David, good to see you, my friend. Anglers, pliers, the very, very best. Go ahead, Danny.
So several years ago, I bought these outfits from Daiwa, you know, loaded them with 2 pound for all the grandkids. I bought them for all the grandkids, and so taking them fishing, whether it's a local park here, everything, it's a perfect setup for it. 4.5 feet, little mini spin with 2 pound on it, and so with the light line, so they will get bit. Landing the fish isn't quite the priority, but getting bit and letting them fight the fish is the important part. So
Sure.
that was the greatest part about that. But yeah, so taking little Kira, she can't stop talking about it, Phil. It's going to be unbelievable. And we'll probably get the hook to get her off the pond too, just like Gia. But yeah, I mean, it's just in the blood. And then this summer we're going to do like a memorial for my dad, and I'll take him. We'll take him up to Sierras and let it turn him loose with the real deal. So
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
perfect place to practice.
Of course,
Yeah,
Danny is talking about the PCS show at the Orange County Fairgrounds. Everybody, it runs through today. I've already
yeah,
talked to several people who are there. Great show. They're raving about it. I know Sean Hardigan from the Mission Bell is there. His girlfriend Mimi with their new baby. Bob Gifford, Sam De La Torre is having a great show. And Danny's talking about going
that's
with his
awesome.
granddaughter and catching some fish on Saturday.
I'm
Gary
gonna have
Smith.
the grandkids. Yep, and my brother's going. My brother Steve, he's home. We're not running trips right now, so I get to walk it with him. That's a blessing too. And I'm going to get to fish with him in June down at the Bay of Los Angeles. So yeah, it's going to be all about prepping. And one of the reasons for going to the show is we're going to be buying. And we did some at Fred Hall, but I'm going to get mucho more because I don't want to ever run out while we're down there in the Bay of Los Angeles. Not that
Uh,
we're chumming with them, but yeah, no. Going down prepared with all the different colors, whatever. It's going to be it's going to be competitive. I'm going to be fishing with a lot of grape sticks, ex deckhands and captains of mine, and good friends, old friends. So we're going to have a blast. The best part, we're going to laugh a lot, and we're
oh,
going to
that's
do a
great.
new innovative trip that hasn't been done before, which is Steve tried out this last year, and we'll tell you about it after we're done with the trip. But it's unbelievable, and I
All
think
right.
what makes it nice, Phil, with Steve, having the experience of traveling all over the world, and back in the old days, I mean, blazing these peacock bass trips in the jungle where they got chewed up with bugs and everything, and they've gone through and they've tweaked all these things. He's doing that with this Bay of LA trip, and it's the same deal. It- Pioneering different angles and different places that we're going to fish and how we're going to fish them. And I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. Hey, we cannot hear you, Danny. Oh, there he went. All right, Danny. Hey, let me.
Okay.
Here he is. You're back.
Yeah, no, I had a call come through. I just blocked it. Yeah, just sorry about that.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Let me grab a couple comments here. Gary Bush from Northern
Sure.
California. He says hello. He'll be there tomorrow. Looking forward to meeting both you and I, Danny. Gary, looking forward to seeing you too. Daniel says hello. David Rosenthal says he'll be there on Saturday. David, you are the man. Dion Solis, best feelings ever to watch kids catch a fish. And Dion is so right. Rob S. I set my wife up years ago with 4 pound and a 2 pound leader. She caught a 6.8 pound trout at Lower Twin Lake.
Wow, that is a
Great
beauty.
setup.
Yeah,
That's a lunker, isn't it?
absolutely. Oh, that's a trophy fish. I'll show it later, but I got my grandma's trout up here on the wall in my tackle shed here that she she had on very light on 2 pound line at Bishop Creek. It was one of the largest browns caught out of there, and she didn't have a net. And it just so happened some guy happened to be walking by, another fisherman happened to be walking by this spot,
And he had a
and
net.
when she didn't have a net, she hopped in the water, stuck her finger behind the collar, and threw it up on the bank. And this old man was telling me, he says, "Oh, your grandma's unbelievable." She said,
He's hardcore.
she did that better than a bear." And I couldn't stop laughing. We were dying. But so that trout, it was caught in 1968. It was a heavy winter that year. And that was one of the largest browns caught out of Bishop Creek. And they'd been fishing up there since the 1920s. So, it was pretty awesome. It's pretty
Awesome.
awesome. But
David Alcantara said he just got home from the PCI show. Good stuff for as far as the eye can see. It's enormous, the show, from what everybody's telling me.
oh yeah,
Uh,
that's all.
Mike
It's
is
awesome.
Mike is saying hello from Oceanside. He'll be up here tomorrow. Mike, have a great time. Sam Roberts. Now that would be a fun trip. And of course, he's talking about your Bay of LA trip.
Oh, I'm telling you, folks, I got really hooked on that. It's a whole different deal. But I'll fill you in on it. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. But there's again that innovative process, like being around Steve and having his knowledge of travel all over the world, fishing destinations all over the world, to try different things. Man, I'm always in with that. So
And that's
that's a great
Travel
thing.
Alliance, right? Travel Alliance.
Yes, yes, English
Steve
travel
Yat-
lines. Yeah, yep.
God,
Yep.
he does a great job. And
Steve Yatomi. Yeah.
Indonesia, the Amazon, you name it,
Oh,
he's been there.
and he knows my as for myself the challenges that we want. I mean, he'll point them out and say, "Here's what you want for this or this or this," and the smart thing to do is listen to him. And I made one of the biggest mistakes ever, Phil. I went down there with Pete Demers and I went down. And Pete and I are very competitive. But when you pound the water, and these are air breathing fish, these arapaima, these big arapaima. So they got a surface for air, but they're very sensitive to noise. And Pete and I are so competitive. Man, we're pounding the water with these lures. And after about two casts each, these things sink out and they go down. They'll stay down for 40, 45 minutes or so before they have to come up and get air again. And so then you got to go look for another fish, you know? And so Steve had told me, bring a fly rod. And I'm going, you got rocks in your head. We're going to fish a 300-pound fish with a fly rod. You know what? He was right. Because, you could pick up and lay down a fly, and I would have taken like a 14 weight. Um, Lay it down, your stuffiness, you could keep casting to it. And, the minute I watched those fish sink out, they went through my head and go, I told myself, you are such a dummy. He told you what to bring. You didn't do it because I'm thinking it's too big for a fly rod.
Sure.
No, that would have been a challenge because the guides will follow the fish, and it was doable. Yeah.
Danny, there's something counterintuitive about taking a 300-pound fish out of a freshwater body. What is that like when you see that massive fish come up from a freshwater zone like that?
Phil, they're related to a tarpon, so they act very similar. They're air breathers, right? So they'll come out and they put their head, and they'll come out 3, 4 feet, and they shake, and you see the body, and your heart's just going, you know, just thumping out of your chest, and it's so exciting. And we were fishing with conventional lures, you know, and something you'd probably fish like peacock bass with or something heavy duty because they're big. And we'll have to show the picture one day, but I got the one I had was estimated about 280 or so.
Damn.
And there's three of us standing shoulder to shoulder. My shoulders are pretty wide, and then you have the two guides, and there's gaps in between, and the fish is hanging over on both sides. So that was truly, an accomplishment. And they fight like a tarpon, which is very exciting. They come out of the water with their head and they splash, and. But the whole time after when we were first approaching it, and those things were sinking out, I was kicking myself because I recognized then why Steve told me to bring a fly rod.
Yeah.
And if I had any brains at all, I would have brought it, but I didn't, you know. But now I know. And so listen to him. So like when we go down to Bay of LA, Steve says get this lure and this lure and this lure. That's why we're going back to the show. We're going to be doing. There's others getting ready, and it's going to be it's a competitive group. So I got to have a lot of ammo.
I guess
Yeah.
the parallel that we can draw is when you walk on a sport boat, listen to the crew, right?
Oh, Phil, that's always the case. That's always the case. You listen to the captain, the crew. They're there every day. They do it for a living. You know, no matter what you think, no matter what you practice. I mean, there's things you could do to help. But you could practice casting because the least amount of times that lure hits the water, you know the better. You want it about a foot and a half in front of it, and about a foot and a half behind it, so you just bring it across their face. But with a fly rod, it gives you the opportunity to make multiple casts because it's a quiet entry and the strip. And yeah, I was kicking myself, but I was able to get two of them, two of those big ones. And so I mean it was unbelievable. But no, listen to those guys. I mean, that's why you go to these shows and talk to them. They'll tell you what to do, what to bring, and you just have to correspond and listen to what they tell you. Take note and make sure you do what they say.
All right, good stuff. Gary Bush
Yeah,
wants to know where we're going to be tomorrow. And Gary, we're not going to be there tomorrow. We're going to be at the show on Saturday, unfortunately. So
Saturday.
we may not meet you, Gary. We'll just have to make an excuse to get together another time. Kerry Gallegos. Kerry is a great guy. I fished with him at Santa Ana River Lakes. This guy can catch trout in the back of a truck. I mean, he's really good. He's saying, "Good evening, fishing legends, man." I'll turn that right around to him. He's an awesome fisherman. He,
Awesome.
I think, he even got me catching trout. So that's how good he is, Danny.
You know what?
He's
I
a
got to tell people, we in Southern California, you got all these local lakes, and you got Irvine, you had Santa Ana River Lakes, all these put and take lakes. But let me tell you something, Phil. Our guys, because of the fishing pressure, we've adapted to fishing 2-pound lines and stuff like that to get the bite. So it involves having a much, a dialed in, lighter tipped rod, 2-pound line, fluorocarbons, uh, super light, super sharp hooks that are still strong enough that they won't straighten out. I mean, it's quite the science. You
yes.
can't boo-hoo it and just say it's trout. It's not. It is absolutely not. And it's a great place to practice prior to going up the Sierras. Actually, to me the Sierras is much easier to fish. And then you go to places like oh, got the Green River, and the guys talk about the fly fishing, how great it is, and this and this and this. And I had a friend, one of my crew members, Kohei Kikuchi. He and I were fly fishing the Green, and we wanted to take my cousin because he's a phenomenal guy. He's one of the best guys in the country. He guided what's his name? Oh, Mr. Peanut, Jimmy Carter and Rosalind Carter, right? In a fly fishing trip. But he couldn't make it. He was on a trip with his buddy. So he told Kohei and I, go up to the Green. He says, just go down below the reservoir. He said, get there early. And when you go early, the fly fishing guys don't get up early. They get up when the hatch is, right? So they're up there. They start getting on their float boats around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Well, by
Yeah.
that time, I don't even know how many fish Kohei had already had. But he said, so I'm going to write these notes down, folks. This is your best self-guided trip you could ever have. Okay, just below the river, just below the dam on the Green, what you do is you fish the launch ramp. Okay, we
Now,
fished
where is
the
this?
Green River. Um, it's just was it the God? What's the lake? Why am I drawing a blank? we
Maybe somebody out there will know and they'll post it
Yeah,
on
yeah,
our
yeah. Because he's this old guy. I forgot. I got pictures. We were strictly fly, and it was just phenomenal. But the fishery, what's that big lake? Oh my God.
Are you
Anyway,
talking like Crowley or something like that? Or
no, it's bigger than that. No, it's sort of. I think it's what is it? Montana or is it Colorado? Or
oh, okay,
but I mean, we left out of Utah.
yeah,
And we drove to it, and we stayed there. And anyway, so a self guided deal via my cousins. He says no, fish the launch ramp area to start. Okay, and he says what happens is we were sitting there, and you can fish dries, you can fish wet flies. You got to figure that out, which we did right away. I mean, I think it was first cast, and it was so good that we're starting with small, number 18s and stuff like that, right? And
yeah,
I couldn't see the fly, so I was taking a bigger fly, a larger, like a size 10, and using it as a strike indicator about a foot and a half up. So you could see the big fly, but the
yeah.
smaller dry fly was behind it. Well, it was so good, they were eating the strike indicator fly, and there's times where we'd get doubles. They'd eat that one and the smaller one, and then
Oh my God,
this is really stupid fishing.
yeah.
And we were just whacking them. So when the boats come down to launch, they launch. What we do at that point is you go upriver under the dam, right below the dam, and we're fishing down below the dam. And same deal, where you're fishing double nymphs instead of fishing the dries, we're fishing double nymphs. And oftentimes, once again, we're getting doubles, and we're sitting there. And as I can remember, one time I'm sliding up my strike indicator. You slide it up the line like this, and all of a sudden, this hand's going,
Oh wow, that's
and I
cool.
go, you know what? This isn't even fun. It's so stupid. And Kohei and I are very competitive. We never stop. We didn't keep anything. We just let them go. And then after you're done, after the boats are launched, so then you go back down below and fish below the launch ramp. So there's three basic areas. I have to think that we had maybe 250 to 300 fish, because we
What?
didn't get back to the lodge, and that's all we fished from the dam down to below the launch ramp. You know, and we never stopped. We had a sandwich. I think we took about 10 minutes to go. Barely made the restaurant before they were closing up at the hotel we were staying at, right? And we get up there and hear all these fish, 10 fish and this and that. And Kohei, they're on a float trip and they're paying a lot of money. Here we're walking it in and waiting, you know, and we just hammered them. But it had to do with we had the right intel. I had
All right, Danny. I don't know if you can hear me. We've lost Danny. He's all frozen up there. I don't know if he's getting another call or what, but I can read some comments here in the meantime. Cue Ball, who supports us in absolutely everything we
the
do.
out of state license.
Oh, very good. Yeah, we're losing
Yeah.
you there, Danny. You're not getting calls again, or are you?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. Yeah, we've been losing you there a little bit, but you're back.
Oh,
All right, I'm going to read a couple comments here and catch up. Cue Ball, who supports us in everything we do. He is always here. It's good to see you, Cue Ball. Deck Boss is called that for a reason. Ask him, he'll tell you. LOL. Uh, let's see. We've got Manny Ryan. I'm headed to the Bay of LA tomorrow.
oh man, I am
Go
so
print
jealous.
reports over the weekend. Hey, Manny, first of all, best of luck, number one. Second of all, that would be great. It'd be great because I'd like to get the reports, but I'll bet you Danny would love to hear what's going on down there,
Oh,
man.
that's just going to drive me nuts.
Suerte, Manny. Get him. Rob S. Do you guys have any suggestions for salmon fishing in Central California? My daughter wants a salmon. Danny?
You know, I would say when that stuff goes offshore and you go out of Monterey or Morro Bay, well, they have those trips. But I would say like Monterey usually is more consistent, in Santa Cruz and San Francisco. where they fish right outside the gate or sometimes inside, and it's phenomenal fishing. It's kings and silvers for the most part, but they have all the bait. Their crew can get you all set up, but that's a tremendous way to go. Um, I I think it's been more consistent. I mean, it's been excellent fishing. I hear the last couple of years, I believe. You know, but we've gone up there even when we were albacore commercial albacore fishing in the fall. We'd catch some by accident. We'd have to let them go, but they're around.
Oh, that's great. Good stuff.
They're around.
Nautical Tenderness says, "Hey, Phil and Danny, love the show, gents. What are the better months for white sea bass around the islands? Thanks in advance." Danny, you know that as well as I. I'm going to let you take it.
You know, they pretty much are where you find them, but I mean, even the spring, now I mean now the winter. I mean, you get the good winter bites too, but when those things start going off, when they're eating the squirts and when the squid are around too, it's I got a picture right there, Phil, where we took the LA Kings
Yeah.
and we got over there. Each of us made one cast and we were done. And I'll look at that. I think that was May, I believe. Yeah, that was May. That was a little later, but that was at Catalina. But it was, I mean, every boat, all the sport boats were all limited. It was fish, but it was only one fish at that point, which is fine. But I mean,
Yeah.
but it was, I never seen it that good. It was unbelievable. Every sport boat, every little pot, everybody had their fish and they were done and out of there in no time. It was phenomenal. But I believe that was May.
Yeah, May's a good month. I think June's a great month, and
Yep. Yep.
July can be really, really good. Everybody's thinking offshore, and everybody's thinking yellowtail, but the more that water gets up over 60 degrees, the more their metabolism seems to really speed up, and they get hungrier. And man,
Yeah.
you see some really good bites. Having said that, my biggest fish, 68 pounds, was on April 9th at Catalina Island.
There
Uh,
you go.
when
That's,
I should have been with my wife while she was having my son Philip.
oh, oops.
But
Oops.
Philip
They're
is,
biting, dear.
I was a bad boy. But I'll tell you, Philip wears it like a bad. Hey, my dad caught a white sea bass the day I was born, his biggest ever. So
Oh my God.
it's pretty.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm seeing a great influx in white sea bass too. I mean, look at the trip we had on the
Yeah,
Apollo. Well, we had several, chances on those things, you know, and yeah, they are we
absolutely. Cue ball says white sea bass any second now. I'm looking to see it.
sneakily sneak on another halibut, and meanwhile, you guys go bendo in the back on those when those sea bass came through.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Cue ball says white sea bass anytime now. I'm looking and I see it pop after the storm passes. It's about that time. It's my backyard, laughing out loud. The epicenter for white sea bass, Danny, the last few years, probably the last 5 years, has been the Channel Islands. No doubt about it. But
Oh yeah.
in the old days, and you and I are qualified to talk about the old days, Catalina used to be the epicenter of sea bass.
Oh,
The backside of the island, you'd have 40 boats, everybody getting bit back there.
absolutely, absolutely. Even locally at Point Furman,
Oh,
you,
yeah.
I think I told that story about Tom Durr how we did a goof
That's worth
off.
retelling.
Yeah, so we're right here. I mean, I was coming. Well, I was coming back from Catalina on a Sunday with the charter, and I hear the local boats talking. They say, "Hey, Kadota, we got some sea bass at Furman." So we'll go in there. We still had some squid in the tank. So we slide in there and we pop a couple of them. So we get back to the dock and I tell the crew, "Hey, we're doing a goof off tomorrow morning." So we kept put the squid in the receiver. Well, meanwhile, I think it was the Ocean Quest and the Fury got into my receiver, snuck a bunch of squid out, and they went out to go try to get them at night. Well, they didn't get them. So we were out in the morning. We got out in the morning, and Tom Durr is by himself in that skipjack, right? And he's got one already hanging. And I think he had one in a rod holder hanging, right? So my crew is so excited watching Tom. They dumped the anchor and they're not, they dumped it. I don't know if it was Marty Tanaka, but I think it might have been Marty. He's a hardcore fisherman. As wind's blowing us back, you want to hang it before we, tie it off. Well, he just tied it off. Well, we started dragging. We ended up bumping Tom off the spot, right? Well, he had his limit anyway. Okay, with the two fish. Okay, so what we did was we ran back up. The fog rolls in. We got on. There's a little crease that those fish come up, and so I straddled the crease, and we went bendo, and it was ridiculous. We had them eating the 60-pound on the spot.
Oh my God.
It was
What a
stupid
memory.
fishing. Yeah, yeah, unbelievable. Tom can tell you that one. We'll have to bring him on. He'll
Oh,
tell
I've
you
heard
all
of
that
Tom.
stinking Kadota. I said, hey, it wasn't me.
Pretty much just like that with a few more expletives in there.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, Danny, Rob S., you were talking about the Green River. He says, Danny, American Reservoir in Idaho. Is that what you're talking about? The American Reservoir?
No, it's
Try
is it
again, because
Flaming Gorge? Is it Flaming Gorge?
I don't know.
Flaming Gorge. I don't know why my memory is blanking. I'm gonna have to look at some pictures. I'm pretty sure I have it in an album.
Somebody
But
can Google it out there. Green River in
Green
Idaho,
River,
right?
but it's below the dam,
Yeah.
and I think it's Flaming Gorge Reservoir. I'm not sure, but check it out, guys. I'm pretty sure, and come back and hit us on the show here and let us know. But I think it's Flaming Gorge. Yeah.
Oh, hey, hold on here. Well, let's see. Let's go to Robert Graber first. Good evening, Phil, Danny, and the Friedman Adventure family. Sure, happy it's Thursday, Robert. We're glad to see you, my friend. Dave Clark, here you are. Green River in Colorado flows into Flaming Gorge Reservoir.
Ta-da!
There you
Okay,
are.
what's Flaming Gorge?
Dave,
So it's below
good.
Flaming Gorge. Yeah, it's at the base where it dumps into the Green River there.
Dave,
But
thanks so
phenomenal.
much, man, for helping out. Manny
Yes,
Ryan. Manny Ryan says fishing, but Bacchetta grouper on the jigs and 30 to 40 pound yellowtail on the surface. Oh my God, Manny, what are you trying to do? Rub it in?
you know what? I got to tell you something, Phil. I got off the phone with Steve, and he'll tell you, Bacchetta and Cabrera are actually some of my probably number one, number two favorite eating fish of all.
Yeah,
Okay, but it's not only that they pull. I mean, for them to eat these lures on the surface and rip you and rock you, and you're pulling on them. I'm fishing pretty well locked down with them. They're tough. They're tough. But the Bacchetta, you're fishing 400 something feet or more, probably, right? And you're fishing a lot of these jigs. Steve was telling me they'll get it 45, 50 feet off the bottom, and all of a sudden they put their head down and they rock you. So, there's a lot to be said. It's a grouper, and they are tough, you know, but the reward is worth it. I mean, it is the best eating fish I think I've ever eaten in my life. Yeah, it's
yeah,
phenomenal.
for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
but they pull until they get to the point where they blow, and then they just like a rock cut, And a couple of years ago, we were on a spot and about 460 feet, and I hang a fish, and it's pulling, and I'm tugging on a fishing heavier line, and this thing's just working me, and I'm getting them, winding them, stroking this thing, and all of a sudden I go, when's this thing gonna blow up, Fernando? I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it. It's not blowing up. What's going on? I got a stinking yellowtail. But it was nicer, 36 pounder. But I mean, it wasn't a Bacchetta. But
That's
the
funny. Big
yeah,
yellow, huh?
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Very good. Cue Ball says, hey, we got squid beds right now, so it's time for those sea bass. Time to place bets. Over and
And
underline is March 23rd, my birthday. Will they bite before the 23rd in good numbers or after March
Phil,
23rd? There you go.
you're eight you're 8 days past my birthday.
I know.
I'm coming over next week. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
unbelievable.
You took me out to breakfast
Wait,
and we
now
celebrated
that's right.
together.
Well, Pisces, go figure, huh? Now,
Yeah.
are you Pisces? You're an Aries.
Yes.
That's my brother too. That's right. He's the 28th. That's right. I happen to make Pisces cut off. I don't know how, but yeah,
You're like my brother Paul. He's Pisces.
there you go.
All right. David Rosenthal says California closed the salmon season last year, and I have heard they are closing it again this year, but I can't confirm that. Thank you, David. Kerry Gallegas, a good season for white sea bass starts in February and will go past July. Alan Watson of the Dreamer is the man. You agree with that, Danny?
There is no better. I don't know. Did I have that jacket on? The yellow jacket
Yeah.
that Alan gave me? Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no better. He was the king of sea bass. There's no doubt about it. He was absolutely the very best. Uncanny. He just had it dialed in. You know, there's nobody as good as Alan was. Yeah.
Kerry also says that Sean Roberts on the Pride is a pretty good bet. And I can tell you that from my vantage point of watching fishing,
Hmm.
seeing who's catching,
Yeah. Yeah.
you gotta say, Sean, man, he's right at the top all the time.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. These guys have it dialed in. You know, that's it. It's unbelievable. You know,
Now we have
but
a heartbroken child on here who wants to send a message. Heartbroken because we're not at 22nd Street Landing tonight, where Michael Limon could be fishing right now. But
oh, poor Mikey.
Michael says hello, Daddy.
Hey, Mikey. Yeah, we miss you, man. Your the live fish counts coming in
No,
by the minute.
next week.
Yeah.
Cue Ball says, in my experience, the big fish are in the coastal kelp forest, and that's where the tankers are hanging out. There's big ones at the islands, but the island fish are 25 to 30-pound schoolies. Yeah, those tankers, those guys who focus on those tankers, Danny, are on the coast a lot of times fishing a mackerel. Go ahead.
Okay, I got a story for you that's going to refute that, though.
Oh,
Okay.
go ahead.
You know, the wintertime on the Mustang, I'd be fishing Clemente, and I'm fishing. I was pretty much by myself. Most of the guys were staying at Catalina, getting the day done on the calicos at Catalina. But we'd go to Clemente, and it was a one stopper, you know, and it was back around Pyramid. Okay, and you know, one stop and we're done. We go around the front, hopefully get a yellow or something, you know. So we're back there and we're hanging some heavy fish. Every now and then I'm wondering, you know, whether we're hanging some blacks or is it some big yellows, but we're losing them all. Okay. So I'm thinking yellowtail is the way they're fighting. And so one of my captains, Rick Fujisaki, who's going down to Bay of LA with us, junior, he goes to work for George Mayo. And George has been fishing the new Hustler too. George was fishing Catalina the whole time. But Catalina started to slow up. And so he called me. I says, hey, have Junior show you the spot, you know, where we're whacking the calicos. And so they get it back around China there. And they're picking away. They're not, it wasn't full on, but of course we were hammering it for weeks and weeks, you know, and then come around the front. Well, they hang two big fish, which Junior was one of the guys that hung one, and then one of the other passengers hung one. Well, Junior's pulling on it, thinking it's a yellowtail, but this kid goes out to sea. It goes out to open water. To this day, I think it's still a world record, Phil. It's a 75-pound white sea bass.
Wow, that's a nice one.
And we jumped all over Junior for breaking us off. We go, you donkey. You gotta you had a world record class fish and you dumped it. You
Oh,
know?
my
But
God.
yeah, no, so it was more than likely it was the white sea bass back there that we were hanging those weeks before and dumping them. You know, I kept thinking they had been big yellows the way they're fighting. But it was, come on, a 75-pound white sea bass is pretty formidable.
Yeah, heck yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
nice fish.
Yeah, and that you could I think that was in the 80s, early 80s, and it was back at Pyramid. So it's a San Clemente. You can look it up in the you know, world record book, and I think it's still standing.
That's amazing. Michael
Yeah.
Limon says he can't wait to see you at the PCI show. Daniel Lightfoot says good evening. And by the way, Dan, YouTube blocked me twice today when I tried to post a comment during the live chat of the morning briefing about wanting to yank on your mustache. So they censor any type of violent talk about pulling bus. I swear to God, I thought maybe I did something wrong, and then I go, oh, they're like they've got this block like it's a violent act or something like
YouTube
that.
did it?
Yeah, they would. Well, I mean, that's who it had to be. I mean, I'm
Oh,
guessing unless there
so
was.
you
Okay,
don't want me to say YouTube, you need to grow a pair?
oh my God. I mean, I didn't
There,
say
I
I was
get
gonna.
blocked.
I didn't say I was gonna set his mustache on fire. I just said I was gonna give it a little yank. Anyway, Dan, next time I
Unbelievable.
see you, I'll
A little
still.
sensitive.
Yeah.
Hey, we're fishermen. Get over
California.
that sensitivity deal, and like I said, be tough about it. Laugh it off or whatever, because it's going to go around. You just have when it's your turn in the barrel, you just have to laugh about it.
California says, "Hey, Danny, this is Billy. You know Billy? There's no last name, so this is
Billy, I
Billy. You're
mean,
supposed to know Billy so
I
well that
know
he doesn't have
you
to
got
put
to
a last name.
give
How
me
are
the
you
last name.
doing?
I know a few Billies.
How are you doing? And what's going on? Haven't heard from you for years. I have a question. Is Taka still around?
Yes, he is. Is this? Wait. Billy Stevens, who ran the fortune for us?
Is it? I don't
I
because I know
I
Billy
don't know.
Stevens really
Billy, give me the yeah. It could be. But that was around, it was just about the same time we bought the boat and Billy went off. Well, actually, Billy ran the fortune after Gigi did. Yeah,
Hey, Billy,
yeah.
you can help us out by throwing a last name on there, okay?
There you go.
But he wants to know if I think Taka Tanaka is still
Yeah,
around.
talk to yep. Yes, he is.
Where is he? What's he doing?
He's over in Buena Park. He has his tackle shop. You know, Yeah,
All right,
yes. I
good
think
stuff.
son Steve's in there, but yeah, see, so that's what I'm thinking. It has to go back that way. But I mean, there's a bunch of Billies that we had in the past. The Billy Miyagawa, Zookers. There was a few Billies around. Billy's bait.
But by the way, Billy Stevens is one of the nicest guys I ever
Oh
knew. He's
yeah,
a great
yeah,
guy.
yes.
Love Billy.
Billy ran the fortune for us after Gigi got off the boat.
Okay.
Bill did. Yeah, we had great trips with Billy.
And
Yeah, he's a
Gigi
great
was
guy.
an outstanding
Oh,
captain.
absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
She could hang with the guys anytime.
Oh, oh, grab an anchor with one hand. Yeah. No, there's no guys that are gonna mess with her. Let me tell you, she was
Well,
good. She
they
was
didn't
she was a good fisherman too.
they
Yeah.
didn't mess with her mom, Carol, either.
Oh yeah. And Carl, Dad.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Manny Ryan, I think he's talking about fishing the baquetas, 420-gram jigs, 100-pound line, and baby
Yes.
button that drag down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, I was just told. You told me just recently that they had some fish 40, 50 feet off the bottom. They put their head down and rocked them.
Oh, they're tough. All right, hit that like button, everybody, while Danny is frozen. Danny, you okay?
But I'm going to be grinding because I want to eat them. They're the best eating fish there is.
Oh, I know, man. They're tough too.
Yes.
Nautical tenderness. Hey, Danny, I saw an old, excuse me, seasoned episode of Dan Hernandez sport fishing. You absolutely.
Oh, it's kind of breaking up, Phil.
Oh, you got me now, Danny? Danny, you're frozen, Danny. Danny, wake up. Oh, I hypnotized him. One, two, three, boom. One, two, three. There he is. I got Danny. Are you drinking tonight? What's going on with you? All right. I may as well not read this. Let me just remind you all that April 4th through April 9th, we have a 5-day trip on board the Independence out of Point Loma Sport Fishing. That promises to be an outstanding trip. And we're going to probably
Really
go with
strange,
like
Phil.
20 people or so. Danny, are you back?
There, we got you. I got you now.
All right. I got you too. Was I frozen?
You're frozen in that the audio was had a
Yeah.
twang to it.
Yeah. All right, let me read this comment here. Nautical tenderness. Hey, Danny, I saw an old, excuse me, seasoned episode of Dan Hernandez Sport Fishing. You absolutely crushed them on the Mustang. I'm glad to see you and Phil still hitting it hard. Thank you, Nautical Tenderness. Uh oh. There's something going on here. Are we going to have to end our show early? I hope not. Back to that 5-day trip. Might as well finish that thought. Independentsportfishing.com. Independentsportfishing.com. And you can also give them a call at Independent Sport Fishing at Point Loma Sport Fishing, or you can go by the PCS show and visit with Paulina. Paul Strasser, Mark Paisano are also there. You would do good to go by and see them. Excuse me. Can you guys all hear me? Because I see Danny's frozen, but Danny, wake up. Danny, wake up. All right, let me go back to some more questions. Danny, can you tell the Friedman Adventure family the best fishing experience you've ever had? Yeah, Danny. You're not getting me?
Okay, that came
All
through.
right. Well, we'll give it a if we have too many more problems, we'll call it a night and then we'll get the bugs out. This is the first time we've done this, right? And yeah, something's going on with your end, I think, Danny, because I can still see I'm moving. But Danny. All right, folks, hang on there one more second. If we can't fix this up, we're going to say good evening to you. I'm going to get some sleep now. Besides all the other stuff, remember I was in the emergency room and stayed in the hospital for 3 or 4 days? That problem is solved, but now I've got the flu or some crap like that, so I need to get over that. Man, we have a lot of comments here. Let me go through them. There's Danny. Yeah, how about now? Yeah, folks, we may have to call this one. I hope not, because I'm having a lot of fun here. Michael Limon, we'll try to answer that for you. Pride's a hot boat, no question about it. Cue ball. California, hi, Danny. Phil, this is Billy. How are you doing? What's that? Eh, oh, yeah, Rob S. I know who you are. Hey, Danny, I think we're going to call, unless, yeah, I think we're going to call this, folks. Hey, there you are. Are you back? No. Hey guys, I'm really sorry, but Danny and I are going to call it. He seems to be frozen up there. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, we'll see you next time. Morning briefing tomorrow morning. I will be up bright and early doing the morning briefing. Can't wait to do that. It was a great show until we froze up here. And for Danny and for yours truly, we'll see you again. Really, really show. Sorry about that, everybody. We'll work these bugs out and be back with another show next Thursday, the Danny Kadota Show. Take care, my friends. Have a
It's coming in
oh,
clear.
hold on. Let's see. Are you good now?
Yeah. How about you on your
Yeah,
side?
I've been my side of the picture is moving. I think everybody can hear me, but I'm not sure. But you're freezing up.
No, you're coming in clear now.
Yeah.
Am I coming in
Yeah,
clear coming
perfect.
back? Well, that was weird. It was just in that little interim
All right,
there.
well let's go back to this. Danny, can you tell the best fishing
Okay.
experience you've ever had? Michael Emo wants to know.
Michael. Oh my God. You know, Michael, I really is blessed as I was getting to fish, in many parts of the world and stuff. I still treasure the days just like you. I treasure fishing with my grandpa and grandma when I was 4 or 5 years old up at Bishop Creek, and then fishing half day. And when I was five, very young like you, I got my first yellowtail. So uh, those days fishing with my grandparents, they were precious. That's why on Saturday, I'm going to be taking two of my grandkids, and Phil will be there at the show, and we're going to put them on the trout pond. And Gia's already hooked, but the 2-year-old is just going crazy wanting to go fish. I can't even imagine what Kira's going to do when she gets done in that pond. She's going to go nuts, Phil.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Nautical Tenderness saw recently a show, a Dan Hernandez show, where you were killing it on board the Mustang. He said he's glad to see you and I hitting home runs together again.
Well, we were very blessed. We went. I think that's probably one of the first times you could ever do that. We went from I took Gary Loomis out, and we had some of the Shimano and some of the AFCO guys on board. Ben and Ben Seacrest, Greg Stosbury, the Shimano guys, and it was a great group of guys. But we had them eating so well, we let them actually lift pole a couple of those yellowfin tuna.
Oh, nice.
And we went from lift poling to I had a 14 weight fly rod rigged up, and I nailed the yellowfin on a fly. And I think that's before any of those guys ever thought about doing it on a sport boat. But so we hit the span from fly to a lift pole. I don't think you're going to get any more diverse than that. So
Oh man,
that
I
was pretty
agree.
cool. Yeah.
Michael Limon says thunderstorms in La Puente, California right now.
Oh,
Is it Billy Labatt? Is that Bud's kid?
Bud's son. Yeah.
Okay, so that's who Billy is, who's saying
Oh,
hello to
that
you.
Billy. Oh my God, Billy.
Yeah, Billy
Hi.
Labatt.
Yeah,
There
they
he
were
is.
right next
Yeah.
to us. Yeah.
Billy, I knew your dad, Bud. It was your dad, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it was.
Hey, good stuff. Billy, thank you for joining Danny and I tonight. We appreciate
It's been a long time, Billy. You're right.
it. All right, Robert Slagers. Hey, Phil, Dave Hansen was at the PCS show today talking about when he worked for you at 976 Dinner. He is a real character. Hey, Dave is a character. He's a great guy, and he's a very loyal friend. And just to clarify, Robert, he didn't work for me. We worked together on a myriad of projects. Dave and I get along really, really well. He's a funny guy. I mean, you put him on a podcast, and you better put your safety belt on, Danny. It gets crazy, man. Which is great. That's what I like.
Oh my God. Good God.
Stu
Yeah.
Paul says the internet has been all screwy lately. Something's going on. Not just us. I think he's saying everywhere. It's been a little bit screwed
Oh,
up,
because
Danny.
that was an odd deal, Phil. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And now
yeah.
it's perfect. It's perfect again. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Limon says they can hear us loud and clear. Some other guys are saying good night because they thought we were going to say goodbye. But Billy Lovett, the Indian, I remember the Indian now is the boat out of Redondo, right? I can't remember what the name of it.
Oh God.
After I go with my memory, I
No, I
think
know.
that boat is in Redondo now, out of Redondo Sport Fishing. But that boat, Bud Lovett, I remember him, man. He had some.
And his sister Dolores was the
That's
cook.
right, Dolores.
Dolores
Was
was
she
awesome.
in the
She's
galley?
Yes, she was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Did they run? They ran out of San Diego, right?
San Diego, and then they sat right next to us at 22nd Street too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was Bud a hard fisherman?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
All right, good
Yeah, it
stuff.
was fun being around. Well, we all stuck together because we were the Northern Fleet. The
Yeah.
Ashleys, Whitey Ashley, Donnie Ashley, George Mio. We
Here we go again with this.
kind of shunned, but I mean, but things changed. George was the first one to put the scanning sonar on, and then I put it on. And when we got down there, and we were blessed to have phenomenal fishermen, both George and I, and my groups too. And you put them on fish, and these guys would highline it, and they made us look good. But having that scanning sonar, it it impacted it to the point where the San Diego boats actually wanted to start working with us. You
Oh,
know,
that's great.
and so yeah, that helped break it. It helped break that barrier,
Oh yeah, because
which
there
was a
was a
cool deal.
barrier,
Yeah.
big time.
Well, it was like the Civil War, man, North versus South.
Yeah,
You
totally.
know, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
Ray Montera had a black and white unit, an older black and white unit on the Holiday. But other than that, there was none out there. So we had a substantial edge technology wise.
that's great.
Yeah.
Daniel to the rescue. The Indian is called the Navigante now. Out of
There you go. There
Fishing.
you go.
Thank you, Daniel. Really appreciate that.
That's it.
Hey, Danny, I don't see any more questions here. And since we've had a little bit of trouble with the internet, it's a good time to wish everybody a great night and
Yeah.
tell
We'll
everybody.
see everybody Saturday at the show, maybe, Phil, down at PCS.
Danny, as always, I always learn a lot from you, and you're a good friend, and I am blessed by your friendship.
Well,
My-
and I'm glad you're back in health. The prayers worked.
yeah, absolutely. Hey, let me see here. Do we have a bunch more questions that I missed? No, I don't think so. Let me look here. No, I think we're good. Yeah, when I was
Okay.
up there dying in the ER, they asked me if I wanted a priest, and I said, no, Danny Kadota, please, please. And they couldn't get a hold of you, so my wife did call in and ask the doctor, is there any way we can double the life insurance? Well,
Well,
I don't know. I don't know what to tell
well,
you.
then you should have told me. We would have prayed. We would have prayed for you then. You want to collect?
And my
No,
wife
hang around for a little while, Phil.
my
We're
wife
having
asked that
fun.
question. She asked that question in English, and she doesn't speak English, so she's been practicing doblar de aseguranza de vida.
Sign
I
here.
don't know, Ruth. I'm going to get you, Danny. Have a great night.
All right, you too, Phil. See you
Thank you so much,
Saturday. See
everybody.
you guys Saturday at the show.
You got it. Take care, Danny.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye bye.